بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وبه نستعين.
The next question is, I'm 19 years old and my father is forcing me into a marriage that I don't approve of. It's to one of his relatives. Can you please advise him on that since he listens to your lectures? The father's not allowed to do that. He can't force her, and the daughter doesn't have to accept such a marriage. The daughter shouldn't fear of falling into uquq, into disobedience, because refusing to obey the parents or one of them in such a matter is not uquq. This is not uquq. A woman who's a baligha, aqila, rashida, at the age of maturity, in puberty, cannot be forced to marry anyone by her guardian or wali. And it doesn't matter whether that wali is the father or grandfather or uncles or the judge or the sheikh or anyone else for that matter. And it doesn't matter whether she was never previously married or whether she's a widow or a divorcee. It also doesn't matter if she's against the entire idea of marriage or if it's just a certain individual that she does not approve of. Forcing a woman to marry someone she doesn't want is a great injustice and a great violation of her Islamic Shari'i rights. It's like a death sentence to a woman. Imagine serving and living and eating and drinking and sharing the most intimate relationship with someone that woman doesn't want to be with or around. A guardian is not allowed to spend the wealth of a woman Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala entrusted him with without her permission. Forcing her into a marriage that she doesn't want is a bigger crime and a greater injustice than taking her wealth and money. Listen to this point carefully. If the Sharia allowed a woman to seek khulu' for legitimate reasons, to leave a husband that she doesn't like and can't live with, as in Hadith Thabit ibn Qais radiallahu anh, then how can she be forced into a marriage to a man she doesn't like or want from the beginning? The hadith on this are very clear. In Sahih Bukhari and Muslim, لا تنكح الأيم حتى تستأمر ولا تنكح البكر حتى تستأذن. قالوا يا رسول الله وكيف إذنها؟ قال أن تسكت. A woman who was previously married cannot be given in marriage until she's consulted. And a woman who wasn't previously married cannot be given in marriage without her permission. They asked the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, how do we know that she gave her permission? He said, her silence indicates her permission. Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah ta'ala said, the issue of the father or guardian, the wali, forcing a woman into marriage goes against the principles and intellect. If you can't force your daughter to eat a specific certain meal that she doesn't like, a meal that takes a few minutes to consume and its effects go away within minutes, if she can't be forced to eat a meal she doesn't want, how can she be forced into a marriage that lasts a lifetime, where she shares the most intimate with a man she doesn't like or want? Marriage is about mawadda al-rahmah. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُم مَّوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. Mawadda al-rahmah, affection and mercy. Mawadda al-rahmah are not attained when she's coerced into a marriage that she does not want. We spoke in the fiqh class on how deep and meaningful and delicate Al-Bukhari's choices are for the titles of his chapters in his Sahih. He has various chapters on this specific topic. He has Bab لا ينكح الأب وغيره البكر والثيبة إلا برضاها. The chapter he titled is the father or guardian cannot give a woman who wasn't previously married, or a woman who was previously married, he can't give her in marriage without her consent. That's the title to one of his chapters. Another one is باب إذا زوج ابنته وهي كارهة فنكاحه مردود. A chapter, if a man gives his daughter away in marriage while she dislikes it, then it's an invalid, rejected marriage. He has another chapter, باب لا يجوز نكاح المكره. Chapter where he titled it, marriage under coercion is not valid. The father of Khansa bint Khidam al-Ansariya, or Khansa bint Khidam al-Ansariya, both are appropriate. Ibn Hajar in Fath al-Bari chose Khidam. Other muhaddithin chose Khidam. So it's not an error if you see it in some prints, Khidam with a dal, and others with a dal, Khidam. The father of Khansa bint Khidam al-Ansariya, radiyallahu an, gave her away in a marriage that she disliked. She didn't want that marriage. She was also previously married. So she went to the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam declared that marriage invalid. أن أباها زوجها وهي ثيب فكرهت ذلك فأتت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فرد نكاحها. in صحيح البخاري حديث عائشة رضي الله عنها قالت يا رسول الله يستأمر النساء في أبضاعهن يستأمر النساء في أبضاعهن قال نعم قلت فإن البكر تستأمر فتستحي فتسكت قال سكاتها إذنها. Aisha radiallahu anha asked the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam, do women have to give their consent or need to give their consent in their marriage? He said yes. Aisha radiallahu anha said, but a virgin is shy and she'll remain silent when she's asked. She's not going to say anything. The Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Sukatuha idhnuha." Her silence is her consent. In Musnad Ahmad, a woman went to the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam and told him, "Inna abi," actually a story similar to this. "Inna abi zawwajani ibn akhih liyarfa'a bi khasisatahu." Inna abi zawwajani ibn akhih ليرفع بي خسيسته. The girl went to the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, said, my father married me off to his nephew to raise his status. He was at a lower status. He married his daughter off to this nephew so he can raise his status. The Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave her the choice. She had the choice to do what she wants to do. She can continue in the marriage, or it can be rejected. It was her choice. She said to the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, قد أجزت ما صنع أبي. I approve what my father did, but I just wanted to get a point across to the woman that fathers don't have a right to do that. ولكن أردت أن تعلم النساء أن ليس إلى الآباء من الأمر شيء. The wali can try to convince whomever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala entrusted him with. He can push the idea. He can bring others to try to convince her. He can try to persuade her. But if she's adamant in her refusal, he can't force her. The final decision in this matter is hers. Forced marriages are a catastrophe. They inflict great pain on our sisters, and we have numerous stories to mention. Like I said, it's like a death sentence to a woman. It's destruction and oppression. And oppression will be darkness yawm al-qiyamah. The consequences are severe and dangerous. It leaves a wife feeling a great void that she needs to fulfill. And instead of that marriage being a shield from the haram, it exposes her to temptation and haram. The wali who cares about whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala entrusted him with usually wants the best for whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala entrusted him with. They're eager to see those they love and care about happily married, because marriage is beautiful. But a forced marriage at that age is like a beautiful building structured on an unstable foundation. No matter how beautifully structured the building looks, no matter how colorful and decorated it is, no matter how wonderful and breathtaking its shape and engravings are, the foundation remains unstable and it's constantly threatened with collapsing at any moment.